Jonathan, CEO at Cavalry, previously the co-founder of Touch Modern, $100 million e-commerce brand. Today I'm here with Chantel, who is the Director of Customer Experience at Dolls Kill. Thank you so much for being here, Chantel. Maybe to get started, why don't you introduce yourself and the brand to the audience?
Thanks, Jonathan. I'm glad to be here with you too. So I am the Director of Customer Experience over at Dolls Kill. So I lead the team that's responsible for the post-purchase experience across every channel there. If you guys don't know that much about Dolls Kill, we are an online boutique that started about 15 years ago in California. And we grew into this global cult brand for alt fashion, combining streetwear, goth, punk, rave, and really developed this unique customer base that's more like a fan base. I'm personally super close to the customer support team. That's where I started. I currently directly manage them as well, so I know that side of the business very well. We see over 100,000 tickets a year, and a lot of those tickets come in during our peak seasons during Halloween and festival season.
So I know a lot of people know that Dolls Kill is a very unique brand. From the photography, from the video, it's a very unique aesthetic. But I'm guessing most people don't know that a lot of the brand experience also comes from the interaction with your team. So to start, why don't you share a bit more about what's your philosophy in creating that customer experience for Dolls Kill?
So to go into the history of Dolls Kill just a little bit, when we broke through the scene, we had this thing called a Be a Doll program, and we would just have customers submit photos of themselves, and we would post those on our website. It was definitely like a marketing tactic, but it really showed that our customers were part of our brand. They were very integral to our brand. We try to maintain that with the way that we do our customer experience even now. Right now, it's when customers purchase with us, they're not just purchasing clothes, they're really buying into our brand, our aesthetic, our vibe. So when we were looking at AI solutions, we weren't just looking at whether they could close a ticket or how many tickets they could close. We really wanted to see if the customer walked away from the experience feeling like they talked to somebody within the brand.
So it sounds like interacting with your team is actually a very core part of the experience.
Yes.
And I know you mentioned that the business was also built very heavily on seasonality, from spikes from viral drops, all the different festivals like Coachella, and even the holidays. As you guys have scaled into a $100 million brand, what were some of the headaches that came up along the way?
Yeah, that one's difficult. So even though we can predict these seasonal spikes, it's really hard to get a team that can really work through it. We can't really hire our way through it. By the time that you train somebody to really learn the brand voice and learn how we interact with customers, which is taking every single customer situations one by one, the peak season's already over. And so what we really need to find was something that can scale with the volume of tickets and with the complexity of our tickets. I think one of the big things about our brand is that we don't do like a question answer kind of customer support. We really want customers to self-service before they get to our team. So the complexity of the tickets is already high. The volume of the tickets goes up, and then we need something that can rapidly change to the changes that we see in the season. That's basically why we were looking at the AI solution.
And I know for the CEO, Bobby, he's very much an early adopter. So you've already tried and evaluated a bunch of different solutions even before working with us. I think some of the well-known ones like Sienna. What were you looking for when you were starting the journey looking for an AI CX partner, and where did other solutions tend to have trouble?
So a lot of the solutions that came up to us in the beginning were more kind of like a chatbot, very robotic. Like I said, it's like a question and answer kind of situation. We really didn't need that. We wanted customers to self-service before they got to our agents. So we wanted something that was able to resolve concerns rather than just answer questions. But on top of that, of course, maintain that brand voice that really make sure that customers remember that they're talking to Dolls Kill. We did try Sienna in the beginning, and they were able to help out with like more resolution halfway, but they kind of ran too free with the brand voice, and it ended up not sounding like us at the end. So the challenge was really finding that in-between space where we had something that wasn't rigid, wasn't just stuck to a workflow, wasn't robotic, but was structured enough to still sound like Dolls Kill.
Got it. So it sounds like fluidity, flexibility, and really being able to add that personal touch to each interaction was something that you were really looking for.
Right, yes.
So what was different working with Cavalry against some of the other partners you tried before? What were some of the unique use cases or experiences that Cavalry was able to help with that you couldn't really do with other products?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that Cavalry, one of the first things that they were able to build out for us was handling our expedited shipping claims. So a lot of the customers will reach out after paying extra to get their items on time or to get their items faster. And they'll say that it's arriving late, they did it for their birthday or their event, what have you. And it's a really sensitive concern. These customers are highly upset. So it takes a sensitive touch, but it's not really a high value ticket. So we did have AI kind of handle these, be able to look into whether or not the order was late, but then also check in to see if there was anything else going on with the order. Maybe it's in a label created status, maybe it's lost. And then basically issue a shipping refund, help with the loss claim, whatever it may be, while still talking to the customer with some sort of empathy to make sure that they know that they were taken care of on that concern. The second thing that's really unique is our retro promo price matching. So we do allow customers that forgot to put a promo code in during checkout to get that refunded back to them. It's just that with the system that we have, we require them to receive the items and confirm what they're keeping and return what they're not keeping first. So it's not that complex of an issue so much as it is one that has a really long resolution time. We want a resolution time of around 24 hours, but this one will take over a week because the item has to get to them first. So your AI is able to actually help see if there are any ineligibilities for that, which could be like timing or product ineligibilities, and then offer the promo code and check up on the customer after they get their order and provide that price match. So that was really great to have off our hands. And then a third one that was really difficult to get in place, but we have it now, is our minimal damage or cosmetic damage use case. So anybody who's like a clothing retailer out there knows that there's these cosmetic damages that basically don't make an item unusable, but it's not perfect. And so you do want to give the customer something, and you want to hear them out and let them know that you understand the item didn't arrive perfect. We're so sorry about that, but we don't want you to throw it away or get a full refund for it. So Cavalry was actually able to build something out to determine whether or not these items are minimally or cosmetic damage versus a severe damage that needs a full resolution for it.
So a lot of these examples really sound like more customer courtesy, something that require the agent to have a bit of judgment and context on the customer and the unique situation to kind of figure out what you want to offer. Is that kind of right?
Right.
Thanks, Chantel. So I know a lot of people think today of customer experience, customer service as a cost center. And I can say running operation and finance at Touch of Modern, I definitely thought of it as a cost center, really focused on minimizing cost per resolution and trying to keep adjustments and appeasements and refunds as low as possible. But I know for Dolls Kill, loyalty has been an incredible part of the success. It has an incredible loyal customer base, and there's a lot of thought and care in maintaining that loyalty. how have you used CX to use it as growth and retention as part of your strategy?
Yeah, so this is kind of my entire position. So this is something I could talk about all day if I wanted to. But the beef of it is that seeing customer support, it should be a connection to a customer that improves brand loyalty. So by the time that they've reached out to us, most likely something has gone wrong. They've had a negative experience. To be able to turn that around to a positive experience is really what can build real brand loyalty. So one of the big things that we do, like I said, is we take every customer and every situation one by one. We want our first-time customers to have a first-time customer experience, our most loyal customers to have that. Sometimes there are each customer has a specific situation, whether it is a birthday or an event that came up that they needed items for that we need to handle with a little extra care. And that is something that we ask Cavalry to build into the way that they handle tickets, the way that they speak to customers, just having that little bit of discernment into how you treat each individual customer to make sure that they come back to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest headaches with retail that I think everyone tries to strive for, which is one-to-one personalization. Pretty much impossible in the last generation, but a lot more possible today. So for Dolls Kill, we've added this layer, which we call customer profiles, that we actually take into consideration every interaction with the brand, from their order history, purchase history, their customer service interactions, different courtesies that they've had, as well as their loyalty and purchase frequency, to really fine-tune how you're resolving each issue. So it's been a very fun and slight headache, and a challenge to work through. But let's start talking numbers. I know everyone's very curious on what's like the real impact working with an AI CX solution can help with the brand.
Yeah, so what we saw was over the 100,000 or so tickets last year, Cavalry was able to handle about 69% of those, and with a 98% accuracy, which isn't perfect, but it's pretty great. As we all know, that AI won't have a perfect accuracy. It's always learning, it's always needing to be improved upon. We also saw that our CSAT went up by 5%. A really interesting thing that we saw was that customers would start asking for the AI agents by name. So they would have a ticket resolved with Maya and then come back and say, hey, can I talk to Maya again? And I found that really interesting because I manage the customer support team and I look at all the CSAT scores, and sometimes they think that my agents are AI and they'll ask for Maya instead. So that's going really great. And then, of course, just taking off the strain of these repetitive tickets so that my customer service team can handle the more high value kind of concerns.
Thanks. So now we're starting to wrap up here. And a thing I hear talking to a lot of CX leaders and e-com leaders is there's still a good amount of hesitancy and fear with introducing AI into more consumer-facing parts of the work, right? In the back end, it's perfectly fine. But once you're touching customers, you add a lot of risk in creating a bad customer experience, creating churn, or saying something off the rails. What advice would you give people who are starting to think about it, but still have that hesitancy or concern?
So I think that a big thing is you can't negotiate your brand voice. I'm a consumer as well. I hate whenever I go to a website and open up a chat and the first thing it says is, hey, I'm your AI assistant. It's not that it's going to give me a bad experience. It's just in my mind, immediately I'm turned off by it. But on top of that, when a customer has a good experience with your contact center, you don't want them to think, I had a good experience with the contact center. You want them to think, I had a good experience with Dolls Kill. You want to keep your brand voice because of that. And on top of that, I'll say that just having the AI be able to resolve concerns, taking that extra step rather than just answering questions is huge. answering questions that are found in your FAQ. It's not going to decrease a whole lot of workload for your customer service agents. I know that my agents, those have a handle time of less than 30 seconds. It's not that big of a deal to have those taken off of us. I guess a big thing is just the perfect AI solution will build around your company rather than the other way around. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, and I think lastly, you just don't want to think that the AI is replacing your human agents. It's there as a tool to help out, but your agents are still your primary customer contact center.
Yeah. Even if it's not necessarily handling the human agents are handling the majority of the tickets, they're still a very important piece. And the goal is really how do you blend the human and AI experience together so it's almost indistinguishable from who the customer interacts with. That's kind of the goal that everyone is striving for.
Right, which is definitely always seen.
But it's a lot of fun to get different reviews from consumers that write back complimenting or thanking an AI agent. It's quite entertaining. Well, thank you so much for your time, Chantel, and for sharing your thoughts. If anyone is interested in learning more, we're Cavalry. It's an AI CX agent platform that's specialized in helping e-commerce brands. We work with brands like Harry's, Dolls Kill, Notum to really scale their customer experience, and in a lot of ways help automate the complex use cases that most traditional AI agents will escalate to your human agents. Thank you so much for the time. Good day.